Hi dear students, welcome you all on the behalf of Rahul Anand Biology Tutorials. So as you know that I am Rahul Anand and this is somewhere on my channel whose name is actually the Rahul Anand Biology Tutorials. So now let's begin with the very interesting topics which are oftenly being asked in terms of your Neet, of in the Aiims, of in the All India Pre-Medical Examination. So these are literally belonging from which of the chapters of your book. So these are belonging from the microbes in human welfare. So here we are going to study about the microbes role in terms of what? In terms of your sewage treatment. Remember, so a huge, rather the larger amount of what? So a particularly huge, or rather the larger amount of wastewater are literally being discharged from the cities and towns. Now, so when we are talking about these things, so the municipal wastewater are these literally known as what? So the municipal wastewater. So these are literally known as what? The particularly sewage. Talking about the particularly sewage. So your sewage literally consists of what things? So your sewage consists of literally the organic matter often the particularly pathogens which are playing important role to cause the different types of the vital infections as well as what? As well as the diseases. As well as when we are talking about the next features in terms of particularly the sewage. So the literally wastewater which are literally being produced. So these removal are very important for what? For the healthy community. So for maintaining the standard of the healthy community, the wastewater should be dispersed out from what? From literally our community. Talking about the next things in terms of what? In terms of our particularly the sewage. So your sewage literally consists of the, or either the wastewater literally consists of the human waste or either the human excreta, then the organic matter, often some amount of pathogens. Often these literally consist of what things? Tell me the amount of the good microbes. Talking about the next features in terms of these, in terms of the sewage treatment. So we are having what? So literally we are having the disposal of sewage. So your inappropriate disposal of the sewage could literally produce what? Tell me. Very important as well as very conceptual. So the inappropriate disposal of the sewage literally produce nothing else but the kind of the pollution. So it could be the water pollution or either it could be the air pollution also. So we'll be understand about these terms in term later. But you understand here now that what? So the inappropriate disposal of the sewage will be literally playing important role to cause what? To cause the pollution. Now, so when we are talking about the next features or rather the next step in terms of the treatment of the sewage. So these are literally what? So when we are talking about the next step in terms of the treatment of the sewage. So here we are having what? So we are having the heterotrophs. Tell me. So here we are having the heterotrophs, particularly microbes. So these literally play an important role for what? So your heterotrophs microbes playing important role for the here meant of the disposal of the wastewater, or either you could say that here meant of the heterotrophs microbes playing important role for what? For the disposal of the sewage. So we are talking means what are actually the here in terms of the heterotrophs. Remember, so those organisms which literally depend on the another organism to acquire the sufficient amount of the nutrients etc from the another organism. Literally we could understand what? Tell me. We could understand we will be having the heterotrophs microbes. Means what? Means particularly here mean those organisms which could not feed on the particularly photosynthesis or rather the light energy for the acquiring the sufficient nutrients from the autotrophic mode. So this will be acquiring the amount of the nutrients from what? Nothing else but from the human excreta, waste microbes as well as the pathogenous causing which are disease causing agents. From these microbes these will be acquiring the sufficient amount of the nutrients to carry out the life standards. And you are very clear about means what are actually the nutrients. Remember, so nutrients are the essential biomolecules or rather the biochemicals playing important role to promote the life standard of the living organism. So we are often having the macronutrients, then the micronutrients, such as we are having the sulfur, then the fluorine, argon, potassium, magnesium, zinc, molybdenum. etc. We'll be understanding about these things later. So when we are talking about here in terms of the treatment of the sewage, so for particularly the treatment of the sewage, we are having what? So for particularly the treatment of the sewage or rather the wastewater, we are having the STPS. Means what? So we are having the particularly here bit of the sewage treatment plants. So for particularly the sewage, what? For particularly the sewage disposal or either the particularly here in terms of the sewage treatment, we are having what? So these could be done as well as particularly go through the disposal of the STPS. So before disposal, these in terms of the sewage waste or either the ingredients so could literally go through the STPS. And here the STPS are what? So these are nothing else but the sewage treatment plants. So when we are talking about these things in terms of the sewage treatment plants, so a larger amount of the urban wastewater understanding. So when we are talking about the sewage treatment plant, a large amount of the urban wastewater as well as the here in terms of the sewage are literally being discharged in terms of what? So in this case, the larger amount of the urban wastewater and the sewage are literally being discharged in terms of the natural water bodies such as what? Such as the oceans, then the particularly ponds, often the rivers, then the streams. So particularly before the dispersal of these components in terms of the sewage waste, so these could be done or either go through the process of the STPS before what? Before the disposal process or either before dispersing these contents in terms of the sewage in terms of the natural occurring, tell me, the natural occurring water bodies such as the oceans, the rivers, then what? Then particularly the streams, etc. Talking about the last but not the least features in terms of your sewage treatment, so the two processes which are involved in terms of the sewage treatment, so these are what? So these are nothing else but the primary sewage treatment, then what? Then the secondary treatment, or either you could say that the primary treatment process, then the secondary treatment process. So we'll be understanding about these things later. But primarily at the conceptual level, when we are talking about means what are actually the microbes. So you know what are actually the microbes. So microbes are nothing else but these literally promote the various type of chemical reaction. Often your microbes do what? So your microbes play an important role to have the certain types of the living organisms, including what? Including particularly the human beings. So these microbes do play an important role to produce the various types of the disease, etc. Remember, so we are having the Salmonella typhi bacterium playing important role to cause the here in terms of the typhoid. So here the typhoid is the disease and the Salmonella typhi bacteria is literally the microbe. So it is playing important role to produce what? To produce the disease whose name is the typhoid. So we'll be understanding about its life cycle later. But understand what are actually the here meant of the Salmonella typhi. So these are nothing but the literally bacteria. And we know that those particularly organisms what which could not be visible by the help of the naked eyes are considered under the category of microbes. So these microbes could be the yeast, the fungi, often the mold, often some amount of the viruses as well as the bacteria. So you remember the name of certain of the bacteria. Remember? So we are having the here in terms of the Cercovices, Cerevisiae, then the Bacillus digestris, then what? Then the Bacillus stravius. So we will be understanding about these things later. So I thought you have got the concept, means what are actually the particularly microbes role in terms of the sewage treatment, where we have dealt the certain features as well as the important conceptual point, means what are actually the here in terms of the municipal wastewater and how these are literally being considered under the category of particularly the sewage. We do understand the important role of the heterotrophic microbes, such as these playing an important role for what? For the disposal of the here in terms of what? In terms of the disposal of the particularly sewage, rather the treatment of particularly sewage. Of course, primarily what? Primarily the disposal of the sewage. As well as we have often understood the bit introduction as well as the role of another conceptual thing, such as what? Such as means what are actually the particularly content of your sewage. So these are what? So these are the organic matter, then the human excreta, these do have certain amount of good microbes as well as the bad microbes as well as the pathogenous, means the disease causing agents. So we'll be understanding about these things later. So this is somewhat the condition when we are talking about the case of the here, means in term of microbes role, in term of the, tell me, so the microbe roles in term of the sewage treatment. So I thought we have got the concept. So you could often write these. So if you like the work with the reference to the education as well as the lectures as well as the videos, so you could particularly subscribe, then particularly like, then comment below in the text. Thus I'll be knowing that what concept actually you are hungry for, or what haven't you understood or either got. So very thank you with reference to the RAHUL Biology tutorials.